What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I am so excited to talk to you today and also maybe see some of you later today. If you've been living under a rock, I'll inform you. Myself, Ryan Greenbean, the Talkin' Jets crew, is doing our group outing today for Jets Chargers. Tailgate over in lot E26 if you want to say hello. Or if you want to say hi when we're in the building, section 340 is where we will be. I cannot wait. I am so amped up for not only just getting to see everybody, I love to do that, but for this game is now even more. You thought it was a big game before. Well, after Sunday, there are even bigger implications. The Jets got a lot of help yesterday. We're going to break it down and talk about why this game is so important. So with me being at the game, there's no pregame stream tonight, unfortunately, because again, I'll be in attendance in the MetLife lot. Does not have very good service. And I want to enjoy myself. Let's be honest. I want to enjoy the time in the tailgate and the pregame. We're going on the field. So a lot going on, but anyway, not your regular game day coverage, but wanted to talk about this very important thing about this game for the New York Jets. So they got help in the division. First, we'll talk about the Patriots loss to Washington. That's good, but they dropped to 2-7. They are kind of out of it right now. So like, is it wild to say? It's true though. The Patriots are not really relevant in the AFC East conversation at this point. Who knows? Maybe they go on this crazy run, or maybe they just continue to keep losing games. But let's start with the Miami Dolphins, who had the early game in Germany against the Chiefs. They lose 21-14. They dropped to 6-3, which they're still in first place at 6-3, and that's a really good record. But when you look a little bit deeper, they're 0-3 against winning teams this year. They've beaten the teams that they're supposed to, which it's the NFL. You got to be able to take care of business against the teams that you're supposed to. But against the winning teams, or against the, in their big games this year, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Kansas City, they've come up empty in all three of those games. So they're 6-3, as I mentioned, and this is how their schedule looks the rest of the way. They're going into the bye week this week, right? But outside of the bye, they have the Raiders at home, at the Jets, at Washington, versus Tennessee, versus the Jets again, versus Dallas, at Baltimore, versus Buffalo. That is a very, very, very challenging final four games of the season. And something else that I love from the Jets' perspective is they still get them twice. So they really control their own destiny in this one. That's kind of the theme of this video, is the Jets controlling their own destiny. But they get Miami twice. They haven't played the Miami Dolphins yet. And I'm not saying Miami's an easy matchup. It's not. They are an explosive offense. They were down 21 points and they started to come back. They made it an interesting game. It went right down to the wire yesterday. Explosive team, but the Jets have shown this year with their performance against the Philadelphia Eagles, against the Buffalo Bills, and against the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they lost to the Chiefs, they can hang with good teams. They are going to play. Every one of their games are going to be tight, one-score games, it feels like. They're not getting blown out. They're not built to blow anybody out, but those are really, really big games. And this division, again, kind of feels like it's up for grabs right now. With the Jets, depending on what happens with them tonight, we'll talk about that at the end, but not an easy schedule for the Miami Dolphins outside of the bye, coming outside of the bye. That wasn't the only help that the Jets got. The Buffalo Bills lost on Sunday Night Football 24-18 to the Bengals, and they dropped to 5-4. Now, some people were kind of concerned about the Bengals winning that game, and I understand where they're coming from, right? Like the Bengals could have dropped to 0-4 in the conference, and they're obviously coming on strong now, but I think that was kind of inevitable. And for me, I would rather take care of business in the division than worry about other teams who are going to be fighting in the wild card race for. I get it. The Jets very well could be a wild card team, but leapfrogging the Bills in the division and jumping in front of them, I think was more important. So they dropped to 5-4. They haven't looked the same since they lost Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano. That defense, Burrow was having his way with the Buffalo Bills defense, and they have the hardest schedule in the NFL remaining. They have a late bye, but here are their remaining games: versus Denver, versus the New York Jets, at Philly, at Kansas City, versus Dallas, at Los Angeles Chargers, versus New England, and at Miami. That's a really, really tough stretch of games. And obviously, I'm not saying they're going to lose out, but is 9-8 for the Bills out of the question? I don't think so. I think this, looking at it where they are right now at 5-4 and looking at this schedule, the Jets always play Buffalo twice. Now, I really even still have a hard time predicting the Jets to sweep Buffalo this year. But as I said in the beginning, the Jets play everyone close, and they have Josh Allen's number. And, they almost beat him up in Buffalo last year when Mike White cracked his ribs. They were, right in that game to the very end. So it's possible, but Philadelphia, Kansas City, Dallas, those are tough teams, tough offenses. And Buffalo can win any of these games. They could also lose any of these games. And again, this might be a 9 or a 10 win team this year. This isn't, some team running away with it, a 13-4 Buffalo Bills team or, a 12-5 Buffalo Bills team. It's not going to be that way when you look at just how tough the rest of that schedule is. So now we get to the New York Jets. You have to take care of business tonight. Every single other team in the division lost. A win tonight puts them in second place. They're in second place right now ahead of the Buffalo Bills by win percentage. If they lose, then they're going to fall back to third place. But if they win, second place, half a game out of first. That's huge. And you have an opportunity here for the New York Jets, which is what we talked about last week with the New York Giants. You can't overlook the Giants. I don't think they did. I just, again, don't think the Jets are built to blow anybody out. They're going to play tight games. It's going to be a struggle to score points. Their defense is going to ball out. That's their recipe. They want to run. They're a team that wants to run the football. I understand all these things, but you got the Chargers tonight. It starts tonight. You have this opportunity to be the only team in your division to win, to move up to second place, to be a half a game out of first place. And there's again, it's all about seizing the opportunity, and you got to take it one game at a time. But you have the Chargers, the Raiders on the road on Sunday Night Football, and then two huge divisional games against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo and against the Miami Dolphins at home. Every game is so important now, and I love it. I love that we are getting to talk about this in November, and I love that I get to do these rooting guides before, talk about who you want as a Jet fan, for which teams you want to win, which teams you want to lose, as you're fighting for playoff positioning. Because in years gone by, unfortunately, you're looking at, okay, well, who needs to lose or who needs to win to help the tank? We're not at that point anymore, and thank God, because making content and doing videos for that, while that's how I built my base, not nearly as much fun as talking about a winning team and a team that's on a 3-game win streak. They have their struggles, right? They aren't scoring offensively, but they're winning games ugly. You don't get style points for how you do it. They don't ask you how, they ask you how many. So we'll be in attendance tonight, and the stadium's going to be rocking for Monday Night Football, as it should be. The atmosphere for the Bills game, the Chiefs game, for the night games at MetLife have been absolutely insane. And I cannot wait to be in the building for, up until this point, is the biggest game of the season. And it is. There are going to be bigger games, obviously, depending on what happens in the next few weeks. You got to continue to stack wins, but this is a must-win game for the Jets. You got to take care of business. You have to, and I understand you're 3.5-point underdogs at home. I don't get the line, but they are 3.5-point underdogs at home. Take care of business. Defense, continue to do your thing. Offense, do just enough. Zach Wilson, play like you did in prime time against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you do all that, the Jets win. They are in second place in the division. They are a half game out of first place. Get it done. This team could absolutely do it. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight once again. Tailgating in Lot E. I believe it's E26 or E27, right around there. And then in the building in section 340. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you next time.